In Al Anisim, we speak about the contrast between the Jewish people and the Greeks, the Yevanim. And it speaks about how Masarta Giborim B'yad Chalashim, Hashem, you put the Giborim, the mighty Greek army, in the hands of the weak, the Rabbi Miyad Miyatim. They had tons and tons, a massive army, powerful army, and many people. We were few. U'tmeim b'yad tahorim. They were impure in the hands of the pure. Rishayim b'yad tzadikim. The evil in the hands of these Talmidei Chachamim who are fighting a war. Righteous people. Each one is opposite of another. Evil, tzadikim. Pure, impure. Many, few. Each one is the opposite. But the final one, the Zeidim b'yad Oskei Torasecha. The Zeidim, unclear what that word means, in the hands of the people who are osek in Torah, that toiled in Torah. And the Beis Yosef asks in Siman Taf Reish Pei Beis, they're not opposites. Here, our school translates Zeidim as the willful sinners. So we have the willful sinners. I guess it got it from the word mazid. If you do an aveira b'mazid, it means you did it on purpose. So the Greeks were willful sinners in the hands of the Oskei Torasecha. If I was writing it, I would have said the willful sinners in the hands of the people who sin by accident or something. I don't know. Why is Zeidim the opposite of the Oskei Torasecha? So this is the question of the Beis Yosef. And he doesn't really give an explanation. He quotes a pasuk. He says that the tefillah is based on a pasuk in Tehillim, in Perek Kuf Yotes, pasuk Nun Aleph. The pasuk says, Zeidim helitzuni ad ma'od. The Zeidim taunted me exceedingly. That's what Dovid HaMelech says. Mi Torascha lo natisi, but it didn't steer away from your Torah. So since the word Zeidim is in the pasuk, that they were coming to taunt me, and I didn't go away from Torah, so they go as opposites. But it doesn't explain it. What does it mean? So the truth is, we have to understand what the word Zeidim means. What is a Zaid? Zayin Dalid. We look at the first place that it appears in the Torah. It's in Parshas Toldos, when Yaakov was cooking his stew for Esav. He made the soup, and he sold to him he gave him the soup, and he got the bechora, he got the birthright from him. The pasuk says, "Vayazed Yaakov Nazid," and Rashi explains that Yazed is a lashon of bishul, of cooking. So why didn't it just use the word bishul to go ahead and cook? Why did it use a strange word, vayazed? So the Sefer Aksav HaKabbalah explains that there's a difference between vayazed and bishul. Bishul is the final moment when a food is about to become edible. Right? It could be sitting, the pot could be sitting on the fire for a long, long time. And finally, last minute, now I could go ahead and eat it. Now I could go ahead and consume it. That is bishul. Vayazed is the preparatory stages before that final piece. What's happening during those preparatory stages, the hachana? You take a pot of water, or you take your raw cholent, right, and you put it on the fire. And it's sitting there. And there's actually, you don't see it, but there's a war going on between the cholent beans and the fire. The cholent beans are very happy the way they are. They've been like that for a long time. The potatoes have always been that way. No one bothered them. And they were just sitting there in the pot. And all of a sudden, the fire starts to come and overcome it, overpower it. The fire starts to affect change in the elements inside the pot. You had the water was sitting there. The fire starts to overcome the water and starts to make it bubble, starts to make it cook. Right? So the word vayazed is when something is coming and trying to overcome and overpower something else. For example, he brings, and Rav Tzadok HaKohen brings this also in Tzidkas Tzaddik Reish Nun 250. He says that we use this word all the time, mazid. Did you do something on purpose? If you look in the Torah, you don't find it so often. That's the truth. But we have this word called mazid. If I do an aveira on purpose, it's called that I did it b'mezid. So for example, the pasuk says in Shmos Perek Chaf Aleph pasuk Yedalid, V'chi yazid ish are'ehu when a man will scheme against his fellow person, lahargo ba'arma, to kill him in a cunning way. So this man is coming to kill another person. He used the word vayazed. So what does that mean? So he explains that what could bring a person to do something b'mezid? I understand you do something by accident. You walk into a room, you forget that it's Shabbos, you flip on the light, or you didn't realize there was a light there, you hit it with your elbow, whatever it is. For a moment, you forgot that it's Shabbos, you forgot that it's not allowed, and you went ahead and do it. But how can you come and do something on purpose? To do something on purpose, you need something from within us, whether it's a taiva, a certain desire, to overcome and overpower our natural desire. Our natural desire is to do the right thing. We always want to do good. We would never want to hurt someone by speaking badly about them, by making fun of them, by saying lashon hara about them. We would never want to do that. But something gets the better of us. It overcomes us. It overtakes us and makes us do the wrong thing on purpose. So the word mezid is actually identical to the word vayazed, to overcome the water, to overcome that chalent. It's when something takes over, overpowers something that is already in its natural state. Similarly, Rav Tzadok points out that when Yisro was come into the Jewish people, so he's explaining why Hashem is so great, and in Shmos Perek Ches Pasuk Yud Aleph, the pasuk says, "Ki badavar asher zadu aleihem." What inspired Yisro to love the Jewish people? He saw something about Hashem, that the davar asher zadu. What does Rashi explain? Badavar asher zadu aleihem, just like the Mitzrim wanted to kill the Jewish people with water, throw all those kids in there and destroy them. They also were punished in water, and they were cooked in the water. Hashem threw them up and down, like Rashi explains in Naz Yashir. Each one drowned at a different level. There was a lot of overcoming and overpowering of the Mitzrim who tried to overpower us. Again, that is what the word zadu means. And the truth is that it's clear in the letters of the word zayd, Zayin Daled. The letter Zayin, Rabbeinu Bachai tells us in Parshas Vayechi, if you look at all the brachos that Yaakov give his children in the Parsha of Yehuda, the bracha about Yehuda, which is about the Malchus, the king, the leaders of the Jewish people, there's no Zayin. The letter Zayin does not appear. Every other letter appears in the bracha of Yehuda. There's no letter Zayin. Why? So Rabbeinu Bachai says because the letter Zayin represents klei Zayin, metal weaponry. And the king, the leader of the Jewish people, has to realize that no matter how big his army is and how strong he is, at the end of the day, any success that he has is not because of the metal weaponry that he has, but it's because of Hashem. And that's a message that the king has to have, and therefore there's no Zayin in his bracha. The letter Zayin represents weaponry, force, overpowering people. The letter Daled, the Gemara says in Masechah Shabbos and Daf Kuf Daled, represents a poor person. And that's why the Gemara says Gimel represents Gomel, to give. Daled represents the poor person. And that's why the Gimel looks like a person that's walking towards the Daled, and the Daled is facing away from the Gimel because he's all embarrassed. He doesn't have the money. He's receiving a present from the person giving to him, and he doesn't want to look and doesn't want to see. He just puts out his hands and give me the money. That's the Daled. The Daled represents someone that's poor, that's low, that's down. The word Zayd means Zayin, the Kli Zayin, the weaponry, the power, overcoming. The Daled, the person that's the Nebuch, the person that's not capable, the person that's lower than him. So that's what the Zeidim mean. The Greeks were Zeidim. They were people that overpowered others. How do you overpower? Explains Rav Tzadok. You have to be passionate. You have to be motivated. You have to be inspired. The Greeks had a tremendous passion. What was their passion? Their passion was sports. Right? The whole Olympics came from the Greeks. The Greeks would have a sports to honor their god Zeus, the king of the gods, once every 4 years in a valley called Olympia. And that developed into our every 4 years Olympics. It was all about a passion for the body, a passion for sports, that the person that was better at sports, he elevated through the ranks of the society in Greece. That's what we care about. That's what we're passionate about. And how do you go about being victorious? How do you go about succeeding with that passion of becoming a better athlete? You have to wear Nikes. Of course. Nike was the name of the goddess of the Greeks that represented victory. So you wear your Nike sneakers, and you're very involved in your athletics, and your goal is a passion. I just want to talk sports, just want to watch another sport game, and another one, and another one. I watch the entire thing in 8 minutes and 40 seconds, just without the commercials, with anything else, just the normal plays. No! I have to sit there for 2.5 hours, and I'm so passionate. I could just sit here forever and watch the next one and the next one and play it, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Just keep on giving into my passion. That is what the Greeks believed in, and that's where it was. They couldn't fathom that there was this people, these Jewish people, that had a different passion. What were they passionate about? Not learning Torah. Learning Torah is not a passionate thing you do. You could learn science, you could learn math, you could learn anything. That doesn't mean you're passionate about that. Sometimes you have to do it because you have to do it. I have to be kovei itim. I have to learn every single day, so I do it. Doesn't mean I'm passionate about it. I do it because I want to do the right thing. What's passion? Oskei Torasecha. Oskei Torasecha are the people that are busy with the Torah. Not lomdei Torasecha, the learners of Torah. They were busy with it. When you're sitting online, waiting to buy something at the makolet, what do? Something that you're passionate about, you're going to start to go ahead and do. If you see that person standing in front of you, he's holding a chumash while he's waiting online, you're going to be a little bit of that, nudge, and like, hey, what do you got there? What are you learning? You want to share it with me? I want to chap another Dvar Torah. I want to learn another piece of Torah. I'm busy with it. I'm passionate about it. I care about it. Walk around. What do you want to teach me? What did you learn in your yeshiva? What did you learn in your shiur? I'm Oskei. I'm busy with it. That's where my passion is. The Greeks, that's not where their passion was. They couldn't even understand why you'd want a passion like that. How can you be passionate about learning something? It's to get to a higher existence, a higher plane, a higher level of connection to your God? Huh? That makes no sense. That's not what learning's about. You can't be passionate about learning. Doesn't make sense. Learning is, you got to get the knowledge. I can be passionate about my sports. I can be passionate about my body. But I can't be passionate about studying something. That doesn't make sense. The Zeidim tried to overcome the Jewish people. You want to be passionate about a day of the week, Shabbos? That is so weird. You can't be passionate about it. You could be excited for a day off, I guess. We also have a day off. We don't like to go to work. What do we do on our days off? We work even harder. We mow the lawn and all these other things that we couldn't do during the week. We're very, very busy. But I can appreciate a day off. But to be passionate about Shabbos? What, are you going to sing Zmiros? And you're going to invite friends over and you're going to have a great time and you're going to grow together? You're going to have a passion about a day of the week? It's ridiculous. Passion about Bris Milah, passion about Rosh Chodesh, passion about spirituality makes no sense. And therefore they were the Zeidim, the exact opposite of the Oskei Torasecha, of those who toil in Torah, are passionate about Torah, who care about Torah, who learn late at night on a Wednesday night, even if they're not offering a raffle of a shas. Who cares? We're just learning because we're learning. How can we not stay up late at night? What else would we be doing? We have to try, in order to have a successful Chanukah. We're hitting into the 8th day of Chanukah, the end of the whole thing, the most special time, to go back and say, look at the pictures and said, oh wow, this party and this thing and that thing, and it was so nice, and everything was so nice, and a great time, and I remember this forever, is not enough. Remembering isn't worth much. What did it do for us? What do we change? Where do we grow? Are we still giving in to those passions that maybe we experienced or had before? Who is that picture, that poster that hangs by our bed that we're so passionate about, that we care so much about? What's it a picture of? Who is he exactly? What does he represent? Do we have the same passions after Chanukah that we did before? Then unfortunately, we performed Chanukah, we got a mitzvah, we did something good, but we didn't get what Chanukah was all about. The Zeidim were trying to overcome us with a different type of a passion, to push us in different ways. And the Oskei Torasecha have to come out with our passion. Clear, motivated, inspired in what we believe is true, and not just to do it, but to be passionate about it. Be'ezras Hashem, all that inspiration and motivation and passion will bring us to the highest heights that we're all very much capable and destined to hit.